Is anyone there? Please, I've been waiting so long. The line goes dead. Then, 3 sharp knocks echo from inside the closet. That's what Jake heard on Halloween night 1993. What started as a stupid prank call with his friends turned into something that would haunt him forever. Because the voice on the other end? It wasn't random. It was Emma Hartley, a girl who'd been dead for exactly 10 years. And she didn't just answer the call. She came through. Tonight, I'm telling you the true story of how a group of teenagers accidentally opened a door they could never close. A door that led straight to the other side. This isn't about jump scares or cheap thrills. This is about what happens when you mock the dead, when you play games with forces you don't understand, and when someone you love pays the ultimate price. Before we begin, hit that subscribe button and drop a comment telling me what creepy topic you want me to cover next. Your suggestions keep this channel alive. Now let's go back to that Halloween night. Jake Morrison never believed in ghosts. Not when his grandmother told stories about spirits wandering the old cemetery. Not when his best friend Marcus swore he saw a shadow figure in his basement. And definitely not on Halloween night when they decided to make the prank calls. It was tradition. Every year since 8th grade, Jake, Marcus, and their friend Tommy would gather in Jake's basement with a list of random numbers and see who could pull off the best prank. Stupid stuff, really. Pretending to be pizza delivery guys, fake police warnings. Once, Marcus convinced someone their car warranty had expired, and they'd laughed until their stomachs hurt. But this year was different. This year, they found the Hartley house. The place had been abandoned for over a decade, sitting at the end of Maple Street like a rotting tooth. Nobody went near it. Parents told their kids to stay away, but they never explained why. That kind of mystery was catnip to bored 17-year-olds looking for excitement. They'd broken in 3 days before Halloween. The door practically fell off its hinges. Inside, everything was frozen in time. Furniture covered in dust sheets, family photos still hanging crooked on the walls, a calendar stuck on October 1983. Tommy found it in the kitchen, scrawled in faded ink on the wall next to the phone. A number with the words, "Call me back," written underneath. "That's creepy as hell," Marcus had said, snapping a photo with his disposable camera. Jake copied the number into his notebook. He didn't know why. Something about those words felt urgent, desperate, like whoever wrote them was still waiting. Now, sitting in his basement with the phone between them, that urgency felt different. It felt like a warning. "You scared?" Tommy asked, grinning. His skeleton face paint was smudged from eating candy earlier. "Of a phone number? Come on." Marcus dialed. The rotary phone clicked with each number, that mechanical sound that felt ancient even then. They waited. 1 ring, 2, 3. Then someone picked up. Static flooded the line, thick and distorted. Underneath it, something else. Breathing. Slow and ragged, like someone who'd been running. "Hello?" Jake said, trying to keep his voice steady. Is anyone there?" The voice cut through the static. Young, female, desperate. "Please. I've been waiting so long." The basement suddenly felt colder. Jake watched his breath fog in front of him. That wasn't normal. It was October, but the heater was on. "Who is this?" Jake asked. Silence. Then a sound that made his blood freeze. Sobbing. Soft, heartbroken crying that seemed to come from somewhere far away and impossibly close at the same time. Marcus grabbed the phone from Jake's hand and slammed it down. "What the hell was that?" "Just someone messing with us," Tommy said, but his voice shook. "Right? Someone saw us at the house and decided to freak us out." "Nobody saw us. That place is dead." Jake stared at the phone. His hands were trembling. The lights flickered. Once, twice. Then the phone rang. They all jumped. The sound was shrill, angry, echoing off the concrete walls of the basement. It rang again, and again. "Don't answer it," Marcus whispered. But Jake's hand was already moving. He didn't decide to pick it up. His body just did it, like something else was controlling him. "Jake, no." He lifted the receiver. "You called me back." The girl's voice was clearer now, grateful, Happy even. I knew someone would eventually. I've been so alone. Look, this isn't funny anymore, Jake said. Who are you? Emma. Emma Hartley. You were in my house, weren't you? You found my number. The name hit Jake like a physical blow. Hartley. The abandoned house. His mind raced, trying to remember if he'd heard that name before. That's impossible, Tommy said, loud enough for her to hear. The Hartley house has been empty since I died. October 31st, 1983, 10 years ago tonight. The temperature dropped further. Jake could see frost forming on the metal folding chairs. The single light bulb above them dimmed, casting long shadows that seemed to move on their own. This is a joke, Marcus said, backing toward the stairs. Some sick Halloween joke. I wish it was. Emma's voice changed, became sharper, angry. But you called me, you opened the door, and now I can finally come home. The line went dead. For 3 seconds, nobody moved. Then from upstairs they heard it. 3 sharp, deliberate knocks on wood, not on the door, inside the house, inside Jake's closet, where his 12-year-old sister Lily was sleeping in the room next door. Jake took the stairs 3 at a time. Behind him, Marcus and Tommy scrambled to follow. His heart hammered against his ribs as he burst through the basement door into the hallway. Everything looked normal. The TV was still playing in the living room where his parents sat watching a horror movie, completely oblivious. The jack-o'-lantern on the porch still flickered with candlelight, but something was wrong. The air felt thick, oppressive, like the house was holding its breath. He ran to Lily's room and threw open the door. She was sitting up in bed, staring at her closet. Her eyes were wide, unblinking. She didn't look at Jake when he entered. Lily? He knelt beside her bed. Hey, you okay? Someone's in the closet, she whispered. She says she knows you. She says you invited her. Ice flooded Jake's veins. Nobody's in there, Lily. You were dreaming. Then why is she talking to me? The closet door was slightly ajar. Through the crack, Jake could see nothing but darkness. But he felt it. Something watching. Waiting. Marcus appeared in the doorway, Tommy right behind him. Is she okay? Jake didn't answer. He stood slowly, walked to the closet, and grabbed the handle. His hand shook. Every instinct screamed at him to run, to grab Lily and get out of the house. But he had to know. He yanked the door open. Empty. Just clothes and shoes and Lily's stuffed animals piled on the shelf. Nothing unusual, nothing wrong. Relief started to flood through him, until he saw it. Scratched into the wooden wall inside the closet, fresh marks that definitely weren't there before. 3 words carved in desperate, jagged letters. Thank you, Jake. Behind him, Lily started to laugh. But it wasn't her laugh. It was someone else's. Someone older. Someone who'd been silent for 10 years and finally had a voice again. When Jake turned around, his sister was staring at him with eyes that weren't quite hers anymore. And she smiled. She's cold, Jake. So cold. Can I let her in? She just wants to be warm again. Jake didn't sleep that night. He sat on the floor outside Lily's room until sunrise, watching the door, listening for any sound that didn't belong. His parents thought he was being dramatic when he tried to explain. They checked the closet, saw nothing, and told him to stop scaring his sister with Halloween pranks. But Lily knew. She wouldn't look at him the next morning. She kept staring at empty corners of the room, having conversations with someone nobody else could see. And she was cold. Constantly cold, even when wrapped in 3 blankets. By the second night, things got worse. Marcus called Jake at 11 p.m., his voice barely audible. She's in my house, man. I can hear her walking around upstairs. My parents can't hear it, but I can. She's looking for something. What does she want? I don't know, but she keeps saying your name. Over and over. Jake Morrison, like it's a prayer or a curse or something. Tommy reported the same thing. Footsteps in his attic. Whispers through the heating vents. And always the cold. That unnatural chill that made frost patterns bloom on windows in the middle of the night. Jake spent the next day at the library, digging through old newspapers. It didn't take long to find the story. Everyone in town had tried to forget it, but the papers remembered everything. Local teen found dead in home. October 31st, 1983. Emma Hartley, 16, was discovered in her bedroom by her parents after they returned from a Halloween party. The cause of death was ruled as accidental overdose, but friends of the victim insisted Emma would never touch drugs. "Someone did this to her," one anonymous classmate stated. "She was scared of someone. She wouldn't tell us who." The article included a photo. Emma had dark hair, kind eyes, and a smile that looked like it was hiding sadness. But it was the next article, buried 3 months later, that made Jake's stomach turn. Investigation closed in Hartley death. No foul play suspected they'd given up. They'd called it an accident and moved on. But someone knew the truth. Someone had killed her and walked away clean. And now Emma wanted justice. The 4th night after the call, Emma showed herself. Jake was in the basement again, trying to find anything that might help him send her back. Old books on folklore, internet forums about paranormal activity, anything. That's when the temperature plummeted so fast he could see his breath crystallize in the air. The lights died. Complete darkness swallowed the room. Then she spoke. Not through a phone this time. Right behind him. "You wanted to know who I am. Now look at me." Jake turned slowly. She stood in the corner, illuminated by a light that came from nowhere. Emma Hartley looked exactly like her photograph, except her eyes were hollow, empty spaces that somehow still managed to see right through him. Her skin was gray, her fingers too long, and when she moved, she didn't walk. She glided like gravity had forgotten her. "I didn't mean to," Jake started. "You opened the door. You gave me a way back." She moved closer. "Do you know what it's like? Being trapped between worlds? Knowing your murderer is still out there, still breathing, still living the life that was supposed to be mine. Who killed you?" Emma's face twisted with rage. The walls began to shake, cracks spider-webbed across the concrete. "Someone I trusted, someone I loved. He promised me forever, and then he took forever away because I knew his secret, because I was going to tell." "Tell what?" "That doesn't matter now. What matters is that he's still here, still pretending to be a good person, still walking around this town like he didn't destroy me." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "But I can make it right. I can have what he stole. I just need a body, someone young, someone pure." Jake's blood froze. "Lily. She's perfect, 12 years old, her whole life ahead of her. If I take her, I can live again, really live, fall in love, graduate, have the future that was ripped away from me. You can't do that. She's just a kid." Emma's laugh was hollow. "So was I. Did that stop him? Did anyone care that I had dreams, that I wanted to be a teacher, that I was finally happy?" Tears black as oil ran down her face. "I'm tired of being dead, Jake. I'm tired of being cold and alone and forgotten. You called me. You invited me in. This is your fault." The next 24 hours were psychological warfare. Emma turned Marcus and Tommy against him. She whispered their secrets in the dark, things they'd never told anyone. Marcus's father's gambling problem that was destroying their family. Tommy's crush on Marcus's girlfriend. Small, painful truths that festered and rotted friendships from the inside. They stopped answering Jake's calls. When he showed up at Marcus's house, his best friend since kindergarten looked at him with suspicion and fear. "How did you know about my dad? I never told anyone. Did you go through my house? What kind of friend is that?" "It wasn't me, it was Emma. She's trying to divide us." But they didn't believe him. They thought he'd lost his mind. And maybe he had. Lily got worse. She stopped eating, stopped talking to anyone except the empty air beside her. Jake would find her standing in front of mirrors, staring at her reflection like she was trying to memorize her own face before it was taken away. On the 7th night, Jake found the solution in his grandmother's old journal. A ritual, a way to send Emma back. But it required something she wanted more than revenge, closure. He had to find out who killed her and make them confess. Only then would she let go. The problem was, Emma had already told him who it was. She'd whispered the name in his dreams, over and over until he couldn't unhear it. His father. Jake's dad had been 17 in 1983. He'd dated Emma Hartley for 3 months before she disappeared. He'd never mentioned her, not once, and when Jake confronted him in the garage holding Emma's old diary that had mysteriously appeared on his bed, his father's face went white. "Where did you get that? Tell me the truth. Did you kill her?" His father's silence was answer enough, but it was what he said next that broke Jake's heart. "I loved her, but she found out what I did to Tommy Chen, the hit and run that killed him. She said she was going to the police. I didn't mean for her to die, I just wanted her to stay quiet. The pills were just supposed to scare her, make her sleep. I didn't know." Behind them, the garage door slammed shut. Every light in the house went out. And from upstairs, Lily screamed. Emma had what she needed. Now she was taking what she wanted. Jake made it to Lily's room in time to see Emma standing over his sister's bed. His father was right behind him, finally seeing the ghost of the girl he'd killed. "Emma, please." His father's voice cracked. "I'm sorry. I was 17. I was scared. I didn't mean—" "You never mean it, do you? But I still died. I still lost everything." Lily's eyes were closed. Her chest barely moved. Emma's hand hovered over her heart, ready to take what she believed she deserved. "Take me instead," Jake said. Emma turned. For the first time since she'd appeared, she looked surprised. "What? You want a life? Take mine. I'm the one who called you." I opened that door. Lily had nothing to do with this. Neither did Marcus or Tommy. "This is between us now." "Jake, no," his father started, but Emma held up her hand. The man froze, unable to move or speak. "You'd give up your life for hers? You barely know me. I could be lying. I could take you both." "Yeah, you could, but you won't. Because I read your diary, I know who you really were. You weren't vengeful or cruel, you were kind. You wanted to protect people. That's why you were going to the police. Not for revenge, but to save the next person my father might hurt." Tears, real tears this time, not the black oil, fell from Emma's eyes. "You wanted justice, you got it. He confessed. The police are on their way. I called them before I came up here. He's going to pay for what he did to you. But Lily? She's innocent. Please, let her go." Emma looked at Lily, then at Jake, then at the pathetic man frozen by the door, the man who'd stolen her future. For a long moment she said nothing. Then she stepped back. "You're right. I'm not like him." She looked at Jake's father with such profound sadness that even Jake felt it. "I won't become a monster just because one was created the night I died." Emma started to fade, the light around her dimming. But before she disappeared completely, she whispered, "Thank you for remembering me. Thank you for caring when nobody else did." "Wait," Jake said. "There was another victim, Tommy Chen. My father said, 'I know. Tell his family the truth. They deserve closure too.'" And then she was gone. The cold lifted. The lights came back on. Lily opened her eyes and started crying, and Jake held her while the sirens wailed in the distance. His father was arrested that night. The investigation was reopened. 2 families finally got answers after decades of wondering and grief. Jake never made another prank call. He visits Emma's grave every Halloween with fresh flowers and tells her about his day, about the life she never got to live. Sometimes, when the wind blows just right, he swears he can hear her laugh. Not the hollow, broken laugh of a ghost, but the real thing. The laugh of a 16-year-old girl who finally found peace. Some doors should never be opened, but once they are, you have a choice. You can run and let the darkness spread, or you can face it and maybe, just maybe, bring a little light to someone who's been trapped in shadows for far too long. The prank call that Halloween didn't just summon a ghost. It gave her back her voice. And sometimes, that's all the dead really want. To be heard, to be remembered, and to know that their story mattered. That's the story of Emma Hartley and the Halloween prank that changed everything. It's a reminder that our actions have consequences we can't always predict, and that sometimes the scariest things aren't monsters or demons. They're the secrets people bury and the pain they leave behind. If this story got under your skin, hit that subscribe button. Drop a comment below and tell me what dark topic you want me to explore next. Real haunted locations, unexplained disappearances, urban legends that turned out to be true? Your suggestions fuel this channel. And remember, the next time your phone rings and nobody's on the other end, maybe, just maybe, someone is. They're just waiting for you to really listen. Until next time, stay curious, stay careful, and never underestimate what can come through when you open a door to the other side.